So it's May, college graduation season, the start of a new chapter, a new city, an income, no more homework. It's basically all up from here, right? Well, not quite. See, it's been about a year and a half since I moved to Washington, D.C. and went through this phase myself, and oh boy, it has been a roller coaster since. So as I plan to head to my college town next weekend and watch some of my class of 2025 friends graduate, I'm gonna try my best to answer the question, does post-grad life suck? To start, let's rewind a little bit to commencement day. On this day, after the speeches and turning your tassel, everyone kind of just walks around, says hi and see you later to their friends. Maybe you take a photo with them and then you go your separate ways. But here's where the first hard truth comes in. 70 to 80% of the people that you see on that day, there's a very high chance you may never see again. Some that you might even consider friends. And this doesn't really process until a few months later. It's nothing personal. I mean, it happened to me and it happened to pretty much everyone else I know. It's just kind of the unfortunate nature of it. Also during this time, you're gonna walk around and everyone's gonna ask you the dreaded question, what are you doing after college? You're probably asked that all throughout your senior year as well. But maybe you have had a job lined up for a few months. Maybe you're going to med school, law school. Maybe you're working on your startup. Or maybe you were like me and you still had no idea what you were doing after graduation at commencement and you were drowning in a sea of applications that seemingly went nowhere. Trust me, I know the feel, and trust me, it's okay if you're there. There's way more people in that situation than you might think. And honestly, as hard as it may be to do at the time, I was just taking a couple weeks, just shutting your laptop off, not even worrying about job applications and just living with legitimately no obligations to worry about. And separately, if you do have something lined up and it doesn't start for another couple months, take advantage of that as much as you can, because you're in like the ideal situation where you have no obligations, but you have a guaranteed source of income in the future and you know what you're doing. So literally make it the best summer of your life. The money will come back later, but enjoy that time while it lasts. So far it sounds pretty sweet, right? But then you start your job or whatever you're doing after graduation, and then let me introduce my friend, post-grad depression, baby. So you start your job. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Overall, it doesn't matter too much, right? I mean, it's work at the end of the day and everyone has to do it. Well, I beg to differ a little bit. I honestly think whether or not you truly enjoy your job is a much bigger determinant of whether or not post-grad sucks than we'd like to admit. And it's part of the reason why I'm an advocate for taking a job that pays a little bit less or even significantly less for the first bit of post-grad instead of something that is just gonna get your bank account up but is gonna make you hate your life. I'm looking at you, investment banking and consulting. I mean, you're spending 8 hours every single weekday of your life at this place indefinitely. So naturally, if you like your work and you like your coworkers, it's gonna be better. I've kind of been on both sides of this. I accepted an offer that was a year-long internship with one of my dream companies, the Washington Commanders, my childhood football team, and I loved it. I liked my job, I liked the people I worked with, and there wasn't really any days where I dreaded going into the office, contrary to what I was told real 9-to-5 life is like. And so throughout this year, I was like, hey, post-grad really isn't that bad. Until I got the news that they didn't have the budget to give me or any of the interns a return offer, and 2 weeks later, I was back to square one, except this time I was in a different city, unemployed, and my primary daily source of social life, gone. It was one of those things that was pretty tough to realize. Was I had relied so much on work for my daily social life because I enjoyed my coworkers and we would do some things outside of work sometimes, that I had made like no effort to meet people and make friends outside of them and like the 2 or 3 people from my school that also moved to DC. Don't get me wrong, it was great and I enjoyed my time hanging out with all of them, but I realized, yeah, I was preventing myself from actually forming a new group in this city. And honestly, to this day, I don't think I have, and that's no one's fault but my own. But it does suck because in college, it felt like there was something to do every weekend, every day, every hour almost, even simple things like grabbing dinner at the dining hall. Now, I will say, on the flip side, I do know a few people that have formed new groups in their cities and they're thriving right now, and I couldn't be more happy for them. But I venture to say that that's not the majority of people in post-grad right now. And so what I think post-grad depression really boils down to is the lack of structure. Not only during the 4 years in college, but in the 12 years before that, you've had structure every single part of every single day of your life pretty much. But now, especially if you don't have a job, it can just feel like you're constantly floating with no real purpose. And if you do have a job, once you clock out, you're on your own from 5 to whenever you go to bed. There's nowhere you have to be. There's nowhere people are expecting you to be. And you don't know dozens, if not 100 people within a 3-mile radius anymore. It's just all kind of uncertain. And breaks, winter break, summer break, spring break, forget about it. Those no longer exist. At the end of the day, you're a true adult now, and I get the prospect of being excited about that. Trust me, I was so ready to move out of North Carolina, move to a new city, explore, and just become a true adult. But once you start spending entire Saturdays running errands, cleaning your room, going to Target, cooking an extremely average meal, sometimes homework starts to sound not too bad. And that's without even talking about paying rent, bills, any loans you may have. Any social activities that you do find time to do are gonna cost a good amount, especially if you live in a big city. And then you also gotta worry about fitting in time to go to the gym, eat healthy, take care of your mental health. It all just cuts down different chunks of time. It's honestly just an illusion of freedom. Okay, that was a little dramatic, but it's not totally untrue. Throughout this video, I know I've been dwelling on a lot of the negatives of postgrad, so you might think my answer is yes, postgrad absolutely sucks. But I wouldn't actually say that. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there have definitely been some highs of postgrad. I've gotten to travel more, I've gotten to visit friends in their new cities, I've gotten to tap into some of my older hobbies, and yeah, having no homework to worry about at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday is really nice. I mean, I'm at Georgetown right now, it's I think the middle of final season, and walking around watching everyone grind, I don't miss that at all. Although I am about to start grad school, so that might not last very long, but most of you won't have to deal with that. But anyways, this isn't meant to discourage you if you're about to be in postgrad. At the end of the day, the answer to does postgrad suck is a heavy, it depends. I know it's a little bit of a cop-out, but it's true. There are factors that can definitely hurt or help it, depending on maybe how flexible your job is, how much you like the city that you moved to, or if you're still staying at home. Do you have a healthy relationship or a social life that you can fall back on? I've watched dozens of my friends go through this transition, and every single person feels differently about it. I know people that were counting down the days until college graduation that are now missing college. I know people that thought they'd peak in college and knew they were gonna miss it a lot that are living their best lives right now. So if you're watching this and you're still in school and have a little bit left, do me a favor and enjoy every bit of it. Even though it might not seem like it's going too well at times, trust me, you're going to at least miss some of it after you graduate. So take advantage of it while you have it. And if you're in postgrad as well, let me know if you feel me on some of this, or let me know if you feel totally differently. So if I can offer some unsolicited advice, I think my top 3 would be, number 1, learn to be okay with your own company. You're gonna be spending a lot more time with yourself than you did during college, most likely, and you gotta be okay with that. Find new things to do to keep yourself entertained, find things that you truly enjoy doing, and try not to always rely on the presence of others. The second thing I'd say is just to be patient. Things take time. You might choose the wrong job at first, you might hate it. Be okay with leaving it and taking a couple months to apply and find one that you actually like. Or you may really not like your new city and hate the routine of figuring everything out again, but in a couple months, you may have a totally different mindset. And then the last and arguably the most important thing is to not compare. Comparison is the thief of so much, and in postgrad, especially once you're on your own more and you're seeing people through social media mainly because they're not in the same vicinity as you, it can be so easy to think you're just falling behind and you don't have it as good as others. But just remember, it's always just gonna be the people that have it the best that publicize it the most. That's how it was during college too. But in reality, they're the minority, and a lot of people are just figuring it out for a year, 2 years, however long it may take. And so overall, there's gonna be stuff that you miss about college. For me, it was community and structure, but for you, it might be something totally different. And there's stuff that you're gonna like about postgrad that you're not even thinking about right now. It's truly different for everyone, but I really believe for all of you that the best is yet to come. Good luck with it. I look forward to seeing what all of y'all do. It's crazy to me that I started this channel, making videos for you guys entering freshman year, and now we're all just together in this postgrad universe. But that concludes my ramble about postgrad. Appreciate you all watching. I took a little break to start the year, but now the goal is to go hard until the end of 2025, and I'm gonna try my best to stick with it. I'm gonna try and start a new postgrad city review series, starting with Washington, D.C., and then probably New York. So stay tuned for that. If you found any of this useful, hit the like button and drop a sub, and I will see y'all later. Peace out. Good luck.